The Wizards, just like the Warriors told you, with that $30 million salary slot, we would like to turn that into air. We would rather have that than have Jordan Poole. That's what the Warriors did, and that's what the Wizards just did. And the league is telling you what they think of Jordan Poole. My favorite thing about this trade is the same thing that I would say about Kyle Shanahan. And here's where I'm going. I love it when the league tells you what they think about something versus what the rest of the world thinks about something, because those things don't always match. And I think that that's interesting. The league just expressed to you, and yet another franchise expressed to you, and there are Warrior fans out there who I think could benefit by hearing this, just expressed to you yet again what they think about Jordan Poole. And I get all of the background here, believe me. He will always, and I get it, he will always be a sympathetic figure in this city because of the way it went down. But I also think that far too many Warrior fans still believe that Jordan Poole is not on the team because Draymond Green punched him, and therefore people couldn't get along and they had to get him out of town. I've never believed that that was the story. I believe that he's out of town because the likes of Steph Curry and others felt that they would be a better basketball team going forward, number one. And number two, the same thing that the Wizards told you today. We look, and what's the number? It's in the neighborhood of $30 million?
This year it is, absolutely.
Okay. All right. The Wizards, just like the Warriors told you, with that $30 million salary slot, we would like to turn that into air as quickly as possible. Cap space, if you will. We would rather have that than have Jordan Poole. That's what the Warriors did, and that's what the Wizards just did. And the league is telling you what they think of Jordan Poole. And I don't think it matches with what a lot of Warrior fans still think of Jordan Poole and the romanticism of him because of the way things went down.
Understandable. And, if you're the Pelicans, you look at this trade and you think, okay, we would rather have Jordan Poole for 2 years and see if it works. And Saddiq Bey is also a young player, even though he's coming off a torn ACL. So you're New Orleans and you have an opportunity to offload CJ McCollum, who only had 1 year left. And in exchange, you get a young player, Jordan Poole, who might be a good fit for you. So for New Orleans, for me anyway, it's a pretty low-risk move. It's only 2 years of Jordan Poole,
yep.
And you get Saddiq Bey, and I think he only has 1 more year on his deal. And you offload C.J. McCollum, who was not somebody who was really factoring in what you were trying to do in New Orleans. The head-scratcher for me is Washington. It's already a wave of the white flag for this upcoming year. They're basically saying, we can't wait to get that juicy cap space after 1 more year. And McCollum he's a player, but yeah. Washington's got pretty much nothing else. You already got rid of Kuzma, and now you bring in McCollum, and you get rid of Jordan Poole. So
you clear the decks and you tank, and you get a bunch of space. Sure. I don't know what their other option was. It's not like they were in a position to do anything about it coming this year.
That's fair.
Right?
And I do think that looking at the league, that's one of the bigger problems is, it's not even teams tanking once the year starts. Now we're tanking a year in advance. And Travis Schlenk is in the front office, and so he probably looks at this and says, what you're talking about, Mark, we don't have any other real options, so let's just strip this thing down to the studs and, play a year with McCollum and see if we can't get a nice high lottery pick and then turn that thing around and maybe make a move.
I am fascinating to me because of how many times, no joke here, in the last 6 months as the Warriors tried to become a playoff team, tried to become relevant again, tried to maneuver, tried to, quote, maximize the remainder of Steph Curry's career. How many times did we hear someone go, God, isn't it funny? The type of player they need is, like a Jordan Poole type. And we heard that all the time. And look, if that's your opinion, that can be your opinion. I find today fascinating for 2 reasons. One is the league is telling you that they feel very differently about this player than some fans do. And then the other thing that pops into my head is what you kind of brought up on the crossover. I don't know that I understand this CBA. Like, I get it. I can read.
Yeah.
I understand, but I don't know if you're getting the desired consequences. The draft is not here yet. Free agency is not here yet. And we have seen no fewer than 5, 6 big names switch teams already. And I don't know that all of the trades, in fact, I'd argue the majority of the teams that are involved in those trades from one side or the other, their motivation is financial. And that's it. It's not like Boston, I don't think, is like, what we need to get over the top is Anthony Simons. That's not what Boston's thinking.
Right.
Boston is thinking, our best player's hurt. Let's get some of this money out of here. This is too much. So, right, we signed Tatum, we signed Brown. Now some of the Tatum money is going to be lost.
Yep, Porzingis.
Yeah, Porzingis. We got to clear the books. Aprons. That's what Boston's thinking, and I think that sucks.
Yeah.
They're the Boston Celtics. I want teams like the Celtics, Warriors, Lakers, if not all teams, I want them motivated by how are we really good at basketball next year. But that's not what these teams are doing.
And also, how can we keep our core guys? And I made this list about 2 or 3 months ago, anticipating these days. I was writing down the teams that have 3 or more players making $30 million or more. And if you run down this list, you're finding these teams are the ones that have made these trades. Boston had 4 players in that category. Houston had 3. They've made a deal. New Orleans had 3. They made a deal. Phoenix had 3, of course. They've made a deal. And on it goes. You've got Toronto, the Knicks, the 76ers, even Denver today talking about, it's not out of the question. It's
right.
They're just words, but even that being spoke into significance and into existence that, the Nuggets aren't totally closing the door on trading Nikola Jokic, the best player on the planet, and it's because they too have 3 guys making 30 or more million.
Just to throw out there, because I'm sure there's probably people at work that just went, wait, what?
Yeah.
What did you do? The Denver Nuggets are talking about trading Jokic. Their owner today in front of a microphone, which was the mistake. You can think this, just don't say it into a microphone. He basically was talking about the CBA, and to summarize it, he's essentially saying, look, if you spend this much on too many players and then one of them gets hurt, you're immediately then kicking into the unthinkable, which would be trading number 15. And he's talking about Jokic. This is it. His name is Josh Kroenke. Take a listen.
For us as an organization, going into that second apron is not necessarily something that we're scared of. I think that there are rules around it that we needed to be very careful of with our injury history. The wrong person gets injured, and very quickly you're into a scenario where that I never want to have to contemplate, and that's trading number 15. We're very conscious of that, pushing forward and, providing the resources that we can when the moment arrives. But that second apron, is it a hard cap? I'm not 100% sure, but it's something that teams are obviously very aware of going forward.
Okay, so, and again, he knows the rules. He's not saying, I'm not sure if it's a hard cap. I think he's basically, the question probably was something along the lines of, are you treating that second apron as a hard cap? So, look, this is boring to me. That's honestly what I want to tell the NBA. There's not a damn fan out there that can tell you what the apron is.
Or how much it is, or what are the penalties and all the rest of it.
They don't know what the number is. They don't care. They don't understand the rules behind it. This is driving the league right now, and it's boring. And it's a mistake if that's what you were trying to do, I think.
I agree, and it makes it so you have to explain to people, why did you just trade Drew Holiday? Well, it's because of the second apron. It's like, I thought you liked Holiday. I thought he was a good player. Well, yeah, he's got to go because he makes too much, and we can't afford to get into that second apron.